These songs were always on in the house. They were always on TV in the background. That's actually how I got exposed to a lot of stuff that I listen to today, through MTV. And I remember thinking, wow, these are really strange sounding songs. They don't sound like anything else that I'm being bombarded with. There was just something about the aesthetic of the show also really appealed to me, the blue and the purple and how raw everything sounded. And I'd never seen something like that. I thought music was supposed to be nice and polished and the musicians had to be, not that they're not great musicians, but I thought everything had to be really tight and overly produced. And when this came out, I was sort of taken aback, and I really, really enjoyed that feel.
We never lost control. In your face, it's your face.
So it came out in '94. I started listening to it in '96 or '97, and it's weird because it feels like at the time I was listening to it, it felt like a classic album. It felt like an important album that has been around for a while. And I guess the significance is because it came out right after Kurt's death. So I think what really makes this album stand out is the fact that maybe it's not the tightest, maybe it's not the most musically accomplished album, but it's really hard to find an album a live album, of course, that gives off the emotion and the feel that the Unplugged in New York concert has.
I think Nirvana is the first rock band I ever listened to. I was growing up and all I used to listen to was pop. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Michael Jackson. And then a good friend of mine introduced me to Nirvana. And it was all I would listen to for, I think, about 4 years. And it was just one album. And it was the Unplugged in New York album. You know, it's really cool that we're doing this because I think it means a lot to every single one of us. We grew up with this. It was with us in school and then when we graduated, and it defined a period of our lives, and to be able to play it back is just freaking awesome.
To be putting this together and be playing with the guys after 25 years, it's like, I didn't think I'd be so excited about it. But like now that we've started rehearsing and setting it all up and doing the stage, and it's actually pretty awesome.
Putting this concert together has been very stressful and very rewarding at the same time. And the fact that I get to do it with some of my best friends and bringing on board, like, so many people have been really helpful in terms, not just from the band members, from camera crew, from sound engineering, from venue. It felt like a lot of people came together because they saw like the importance of, or how great it would be to put this thing together.
And I'm also extremely happy to have Rami and Boyan on board with us. Boyan is the resident grunge sort of expert. He's steering us in the right direction. And Rami, we've played together for over a decade now. He's an amazing drummer, an amazing friend. So it feels like a family dynamic, and I'm very proud of how it's turning out.
I love this band. I think it's one of the first bands I ever heard. In fact, I think Dave Grohl was a true inspiration. And I still remember the first time I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit, that beat, the start of the song. I think it became a signature soundbite for Nirvana. And since then I got just addicted to this band.
So, hey, resident grunge expert here. I've known the guys from JLP for a really long time, so when they asked me to be part of this, it was obviously just a yes right away. And Nirvana is probably the one single band that had the biggest impact on me when I was a kid growing up, and the Unplugged show was something that literally changed your life at that age.
I also want to talk about Jean, his ear. He grew up with this music as well, so he's sonically an expert. He's our Butch Vig, if you will.
The sound influence came later on when I got involved in sound. Nirvana's sound is very unique. It was fresh for the time and very well done, and that changed a lot. And a lot of bands wanted to sound like Nirvana and use the facility where Nirvana did their record because of the sound of that record. Nevermind. This is a great and super fun project to recreate the Nirvana Unplugged, especially with these guys. And it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of good music.
First meeting was actually fun because at that point it didn't seem very real. I was still like, all right, we're having a meeting. Odds are this still isn't going to happen, given so many people being involved and stuff, and just making it work and like going through it with the venue, with the rehearsals, and getting the extra musicians and sponsors and everything that comes as part of the package of putting like a concert like this together.
I usually avoid
everything and people sending us all the content in the world. We're not doing this live show. We're gonna have people under us.
Fucking blast from the past over here.
To put them in, you know?
Hey. The reason Boyan's here is because you're like the expert on this genre. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah, you're not performing.
Yeah, you're just a consultant. Okay, so we're not doing this because it's musically gratifying. Well, it is. But we're doing it because it's cool.
It's fun. If you do all the arrangements and everything, it'll be really
it'll be gratifying.
Plus, I mean, we can add our own little twists and turns to it.
2 weeks in advance.
We'll see.
We can start as soon as we launch the event, which is we're hoping for about a month before, just to at least put up the event.
There's time to think about things and maybe adjust if we feel there's no.
But I like that there's at least one song without drums in it. That'll be.
Yeah, I think.
Right?
I don't know why in my head right now. I'm just imagining. And for this song, everything turns off the light except for Boyan, and he's singing and playing guitar in that song alone.
Maybe choose
the
one.
Why not? It'll be cool to film. It'll be cool.
Rehearsal number 1. Tribute. This is just a tribute. You gotta believe it.
Boyan, any parts like in the song where one guitar comes in before the other, just let me know. This is essentially a JLP show plus friends. The core members have been playing together for over 10 years, so there's no mystery about chemistry, there's no mystery about synchronizing as players. Rami and Boyan are like the two other members of JLP, just because we understand each other musically, and they're, like I said, great musicians.
One guitar, acoustic guitar that sounds exactly like it's coming out of a fucking amp.
That's exactly
what he did.
So this thing just keep going until we hear it.
I say let's go through all of them once, roughly, and then refine them.
Okay.
So coming into the first rehearsal, I would say my main concern was whether all the songs, we'd be able to play them the way they exactly are played in the show. So same tuning, same keys and all that stuff, because I mean, Kurt Cobain has a very specific type of voice, very specific range. Boudy, I wouldn't say is a similar vocalist to him. I wanted us to stay as authentic to the show as possible. So, I mean, and I'm really happy how it turned out, because even though some songs you could feel like a change in key might have suited Boudy's voice much better, he was still able to pull it off and actually do it justice. It wasn't just like pushing it for no reason. But either way, we should follow his cue, even if you.
Yeah,
of course.
بس هي آخر وحدة it's once.
No, I don't have a gun. It's
have to
said
stop
5 times at the end, right?
You missed one.
I said
now.
4.
I don't know how many, but there was one more.
1, 2,
we have to
3,
agree on the
4,
last
5,
one.
6, 7. I
I have to stop and he's
Only
continuing.
memory.
إيه لأنه إذا قالها أنا بكون عم وقف.
So I'm count. Well, I swear that I don't have a gun.
You had to die. Don't ever ask your love of me.
We're lucky to know a lot of people in the music industry here in Lebanon and stuff, so they pointed us in a direction towards Jude and Samah for cello and accordion to be part of the set, and they really fit the rest of us really perfectly.
Their personalities meshed with ours right away. We started joking. Jean made them feel very welcome in the studio where we were rehearsing, and it was just like, oh, okay, we're all friends, let's get on with it. That lent to everything going smoothly from there on.
Don't expect me to cry. Don't expect me to lie. Don't expect me to die for thee.
So as most people know, Nirvana left out all their biggest songs from their Unplugged show on purpose, just as a like fuck you to like the MTV establishment and all the commercial bullshit. You know, they're trying to be rebels and stuff. So we thought it would be a good idea to maybe pick a few of their hits, you know, Smells Like Teen Spirit and whatever, Heart-Shaped Box, and turn them into unplugged songs for the set and do them sort of as an encore at the end. But then Boyan came up with the idea, he's like, fuck it, let's just do them electric. And everyone was like, yeah, fuck, that makes sense, and it's such a better idea, you know, really end the show with a bang. The issue was just picking the songs that we wanted to do, and I think we had about 6 on the table, but I think the 3 that won out are the 3 best ones, honestly. In Bloom, Heart-Shaped Box for me are amazing, amazing songs, and you can't not do Smells Like Teen Spirit as a closer for the set. And the way it sounded, even in rehearsal, just the first time we played like the first chord of In Bloom, gave me chills.
I think live is.
Yeah, that's 4, yeah.
Load up on guns.
Yeah. Let's try it.
Sure, I know, it's a really word. Hello, hello.
In the part after the chorus.
Yeah, so that's part of the original version.
Please do that.
The fact that we were able to find a venue like the Palace, I think worked out perfectly for us. The fact that it's a theater setting, the fact that it was seated, I think really all played a really huge role in how the show actually turned out, because it really set the mood perfectly as far as I'm concerned. And the guys who were managing the venue and the owners, everything were great. They were really helpful. They came on board with us as partners because they really had faith in the show itself.
I've worked with JLP for a long time in the studio, but never once, I believe I've done one show with them on live, because I don't do much live sound. And that was a bit of a concern for me, because I'm very used to them in the studio, and I know exactly how they work in the studio, but never live. So it was kind of new for me. But it turned out to be much easier than I thought, because the guys, the band was very well rehearsed, they were tight, and they made the job super easy, even on stage. We were also recording the show, so having Faisal was great, because Faisal, I'm more of an analog guy, and Faisal knew his way really well around that console. It was a pure digital console, so he knew it very well.
So happy.
Yeah, Boudy. All saved. Yeah, it smells like this.
During the sound check, it was sort of like the moment of truth, because we had so many instruments on stage, and we had only done a full rehearsal in a studio, but Jean and Faisal guided us through it, and I think we were practicing Jesus Don't Want Me for a Sunbeam. I got goosebumps. I think a lot of people got goosebumps during that moment, and it sounded just so good.
One of the really main things that made the show happen was having Shure microphones on board as a sponsor. We met the guys from Shure a few months back while working on a project together, and we actually became friends ever since. And when we pitched the idea to them, we sent them like a proposal and everything, and what we had in mind for the show. And it was almost immediate that they said, yes, we're on board, which was awesome. We promised them we'd only use Shure microphones at the show. But having them on board really felt like the event went up a level. I mean, they're the most popular and the best microphone brand in the world probably. So we really appreciated them believing in us and what we wanted to do with the show.
So the day of the show arrived, and I don't think we were, I'm not going to speak for the guys, but I was Anxious, not really nervous, because we had done a sound check on stage. We were familiar with the venue, we were familiar with the sound, and it was just anxiety, how many people are going to show up, because that's always an unknown thing in this country. But as soon as we got on stage, started the first song, everything went out the window, as it always does.
We've had a relationship with Ghayd, Lama, for a while now. We collaborate a lot, we shoot a lot of videos together, a lot of content, we hang out, he comes watches us, we watch him. So from what started as a work relationship became more than that, we became friends. And having him involved in the show, I think, was great. He wanted to be involved, obviously, and having someone of his clout, like, supporting us and like pushing the show was amazing, and we appreciate it, of course. He has many, many more followers than we do. So I think just people seeing, and he's obviously a rocker just like us, and he enjoyed the show like hell. Having him there introduce us and introduce the show really helped break the ice in terms of us being comfortable on stage and the audience just getting loose.
musicians على البيس على الدرامز على الجيتار وزياد زقفلهم شو واحد عم يزقف.
He really broke the ice immediately, joking, making people laugh, getting comfortable. Everyone was settled, and we were able to start the show in a really positive way. Boudy was the main vocalist for the project, obviously, but we were very lucky to have also Ramzi and Boyan in the band, who also have amazing voices and very unique voices as well. So we thought it would really be a waste if they didn't each get us one song to also take the lead on. Boyan specifically on Penny Royal Tea, the fact that it's a solo song, like it's in the live show, it's just Kurt doing it himself. We thought it would be really, really cool to have Boyan also do it himself. Out of the three of them, I think Boyan has maybe the most similar voice to Kurt.
Sit and drink Penny Royal Tea. Still the life that's inside of me.
Heart-Shaped Box, that's a song that Ramzi was really, really a fan of, and it is a great, great song. So that was the song that he went for. I mean, we gave him the choice to pick a song that he wants to sing, and he immediately jumped on that one. And you guys will see in the actual show how good it sounded.
I wish I could eat your cancer when you turn back.
For me, the really sad moment was finishing, like playing the last song and getting off, because it felt like, shit, that ended really quickly.
So for us and the audience, the entire show was leading up to one moment. It was like, we're all hiking up this mountain, and when we reach the top, it's the final phrase of "Where did you sleep last night?" We were all waiting anxiously for that moment. Will Boudy be able to pull it off? Will he not? Will he choke?
Where the sun don't ever shine, I'll shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. And the pines, the sunshine, I'll shiver.
Right after he delivered that ending line, I think we all collectively sighed, like, oh, okay, that went really well. It's captured, it's recorded. It couldn't have gone better. We can relax now. And usually the show ends there, but because that went so well, the rest of the band and myself were like really excited, because we had just done something we were working months to do. It's in the bank, and now we can have fun with the remaining 3 songs, which are, it's just, you know, rock out, play some dirty guitars, some loud drums, and have fun.
So many people showed up, so many people sang along, they joined us for this ride. I'm just really proud how it turned out. I think all the guys did a great job. I mean, you guys can see in the show. And let's see, maybe at some point we can do something like that again. Maybe the same show, maybe something else. We'll see.
Here we are now, ready to